Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My dear students, today's topic is elements, compounds, and mixture. So, this is the index that we have to study about the elements and atoms, periodic table, molecules and compounds, types of molecules, properties of compounds, mixtures, difference between mixture and compounds. So, first of all, elements and atoms. Now, the world in which we live is made up of millions of the different substances. All of these substances are made up of fundamental material called element. So, now we have to define what is meant by a term element. An element is a substance which cannot be split into two or more particles by chemical means. So, you cannot split into simpler substances. Then, elements are made up of particles. The particles can be atoms, molecules, or ions. So, the next is the atom. What is atom? What is meant by atom? An atom is the smallest possible particle of an element that can take part in a chemical change. There are 118 elements that have been identified, of which the first 94 occur naturally on Earth, with the remaining 24 being synthetic elements. So there is a difference between the naturally occurring and synthetic. Definitely you know very well. There are 80 elements that have at least one stable isotope and 38 that have exclusively radioactive isotope. Iron is the most abundant element by mass, making up the earth, while oxygen is the most common element in the crust of the earth. So this is a little introduction about some of the most common elements which are present. Then you can see this table. This is the periodic table. Now, this periodic table consists of all these elements, and the elements are arranged on the basis of their proton number. So, you can see these the symbols of the elements, their proton number, their nucleon number, and they are arranged on the basis of proton number. And the elements, this periodic table having the two divisions, the one is the periods and other groups. So, groups are the vertical columns, while the periods are the horizontal rows. Now, the next is molecule. A molecule is the smallest particle of a compound and is made up of group of atoms. Molecules are made up of atoms that are held together by chemical bonds, and these bonds form as a result of the sharing or exchange of electrons among atoms. So, when you call sharing, so sharing mean covalent bonding, and exchange of electron, it means the ionic bonding, the transfer of electron from metals to non-metal. Then is compound. A compound is a pure substance which contains only one type of molecule made up of atoms of more than one element. Now, the examples. Water is a compound whose molecules have a formula of H2O, which means that a molecule of the water contains 3 atoms in total, in which 2 are of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen. So, molecules of the elements like H2. Now, you can see that there is a bond between H and H, oxygen O2. There is a double bond between oxygen O2O and N2 nitrogen. There is a triple bond between N to N, and the Cl2 chlorine is a molecule. There is a single bond between chlorine to chlorine. Now, these are the molecules of compounds. Now, you can see the nitrogen oxide, NO, water, nitrogen dioxide, carbon dioxide. So, these are the examples of molecules of compounds. Now, types of molecules. There are three types of molecules. The number one is monatomic, number two is the diatomic, the number three is the triatomic. First of all, monatomic. Molecule in which only single atom is present in it, for example neon and helium, so they are monatomic, which consist of single atom. While the diatomic molecule in which there are two atoms combined together, for example oxygen O2, nitrogen gas N2, and then the triatomic molecule in which there are three atoms combined together, for example ozone. So you know very well about the ozone, that ozone is the protective layer which protects the ultraviolet rays to come onto the earth. Next is the properties of compounds. Now the properties of compound, the constituent elements are not separable by physical means. Then physical properties are individual, energy change is on its formation, chemical properties are different from its constituent elements. Then mixture. In chemistry, a mixture is a material system made up of two or more different substances which are mixed but are not combined chemically. So when you make a mixture, so it means no chemical reaction is going to take place, only physically you combine the things together. A mixture refers to the physical combination of the two or more substances on which the identities are retained and are mixed in the form of solution, suspension and colloids. Air is a mixture of gases. Now it consists of mainly nitrogen gas 78%, oxygen gas 21%, with small amounts of inert gases like argon and helium, traces of carbon dioxide gas and water vapor. So this all combination is called air. So air is a mixture. A mixture can be easily separated by physical means. For example, we can separate the mixture of the iron fillings and the sulfur powder by using a magnet. If the iron fillings and the sulfur are heated together, the energy supplied will join the iron and sulfur atoms together, creating a compound called iron 2 sulfide. This compound has properties different from those of the individual elements from which it is made up of. When new compounds are formed, we say a chemical change has occurred. Now the difference between the mixture and compound. In mixture components, substances can be separated by physical means, but we cannot separate constituent elements by physical means. In compound, energy is usually given out or taken in when a compound is formed, but no energy is lost or gained in forming mixture. So these are two differences. The third one, in mixture, component substances can be separated by physical means but cannot be separated by constituent elements or physical means. In compound, energy is, as I said earlier, is usually given out or taken in when a compound is formed, but no energy is lost or gained in forming mixture. A mixture composition can vary, but a compound composition cannot vary. It is always fixed. Now you can see this one. First of all, you can see the matter. Anything that has mass and occupies space is called matter. Take some spaces. Mixture, system of matter that is made up to two or more substances that are not chemically combined. Pure substance that cannot be physically separated any further into other substances. Element, simplest form of the matter that cannot be separated by chemical or physical process. And compound, elements that are chemically compound in fixed ratio. So this was the end of the presentation. Thank you so much.